10 worst tractors ever created in history. These tractors were supposed to change the game, but instead, they became legends in the worst possible way. From engines that refused to start to designs so flawed that they'd make you laugh if they weren't so frustrating. These machines earned a place in history for all the wrong reasons. If you think you've heard of some bad tractors, wait until you hear about these beasts. Let's get started. Subscribe to Vintage Harvester for more marvelous stories from the world of farming machinery. Number 10. The Deutz Alice 9150. When the Deutz Alice 9150 launched in 1989, it was supposed to be a groundbreaking model. Equipped with a 6-cylinder diesel engine pumping out 150 horsepower, it looked like a powerhouse in the making. But unfortunately, what should have been a symbol of agricultural might quickly turned into a nightmare for anyone brave enough to operate it. The first major issue? The air-cooled system, which was supposed to be a hallmark of this tractor, ended up being a massive flaw. Dusty environments, essentially any real farming situation, caused this system to clog up faster than a traffic jam at rush hour. The result? Overheating, poor performance, and a seriously shortened lifespan for the engine. Then there was the tractor's design. With a weight of over 7,200 kilograms, the Deutz Alice 9150 was like trying to drive a brick on soft terrain. Farmers found maneuvering this beast a real challenge, especially when working on fields that weren't perfectly flat. As if that wasn't enough, the 18 forward gears and 6 reverse gears were a nightmare to operate. You needed to be a tractor expert just to shift. And once something broke, good luck. Spare parts were as scarce as hen's teeth, making repairs a costly, time-consuming ordeal. Add to that a hydraulic system that barely worked, unreliable brakes, and an engine so loud it felt like you were working inside a jet engine. And it's easy to see why the Deutz Alice 9150 had a production life of only 1 year. It was quickly discontinued, leaving behind a trail of frustrated farmers. Number 9. The Farmall 460.
When I come off the farm in '79, I sold it.
The Farmall 460 was supposed to be a game changer for farmers back in 1958, with a 6-cylinder gasoline engine that produced 50 horsepower. On paper, it looked perfect for handling a variety of tasks. But when it hit the fields, it quickly proved to be a major disappointment. The biggest flaw? The engine's insatiable thirst for fuel. The Farmall 460 was notorious for burning through gas faster than a drag racer at a competition. With fuel prices already putting pressure on farmers, this tractor quickly became an expensive luxury for many. But fuel efficiency wasn't the only issue. The cooling system was seriously underwhelming, often causing the engine to overheat after only a few hours of use. Imagine trying to finish your day's work only to have your tractor overheat every few hours. Frustrating, right? As if that wasn't bad enough, the transmission system of the Farmall 460 was outdated, offering only 5 forward gears and 1 reverse gear, which limited its versatility. On uneven terrain, it was prone to tipping over due to its lightweight build, adding a whole new level of danger to the situation. And let's not forget the tractor's unreliable braking system, which only added to the list of complaints from farmers who were already struggling with these mechanical issues. Ultimately, the Farmall 460 became a symbol of how a tractor can go from highly anticipated to a total disaster, leaving many farmers wishing they had spent their money elsewhere. Number 8. The Case 1200 Traction King. We move on to the Case 1200 Traction King, a tractor that promised to revolutionize the world of four-wheel drive. With a 6-cylinder diesel engine pushing out 120 horsepower, it seemed like the perfect solution for those heavy-duty tasks on rough terrain. But the reality? Not so much. The 1200 Traction King suffered from a string of mechanical issues, but perhaps the most serious was its performance in cold weather. The engine struggled to start, especially during the early morning hours, leaving farmers scrambling to get their work started. Once it was up and running, the weak cooling system combined with its bulky size made it far less nimble than its competitors. Tasks that required flexibility and quick turns became a major hassle, as the 1200 just couldn't keep up. But it wasn't just the performance that frustrated users. The tractor's 6 forward and 6 reverse gear system should have been simple, but it failed to meet the demands of tasks that required frequent speed adjustments. With a weight of over 7,000 kilograms, it was a challenge to maneuver, and hydraulic steering problems made it even worse. Farmers found themselves constantly battling with repairs, and maintenance costs soared through the roof. The Case 1200 Traction King was discontinued after just a few years, leaving behind a legacy of frustration and a valuable lesson for manufacturers about the importance of usability and reliability. Number 7. The Allis-Chalmers model ED40. In 1964, Allis-Chalmers introduced the ED40, a compact tractor designed for small to medium-sized farms. Equipped with a 4-cylinder diesel engine, the ED40 was built to handle a variety of tasks, but it quickly proved to be more of a headache than a help. The main issue with the ED40 was its underpowered engine. With only 37 horsepower, it struggled to keep up with the heavy demands of most farms. While its compact design was appealing, it lacked the durability needed to perform well on heavy-duty tasks. This tractor frequently suffered from overheating issues, forcing it to be stopped for repairs, which wasted valuable work time. Another problem? The transmission system. With only 6 forward gears and 2 reverse gears, it lacked the flexibility needed to work on various terrains. Despite being lightweight, it was unstable on uneven ground, making it less than ideal for farmers who needed a reliable machine for all kinds of fieldwork. The hydraulic system of the ED40 was also underwhelming. It simply didn't have the power to handle the attachments needed for essential tasks, reducing its overall efficiency. After just a few years of use, critical components like the electrical system and chassis started to deteriorate, and farmers found themselves constantly dealing with breakdowns. Parts were expensive and hard to find, and many owners eventually abandoned the ED40 altogether. While it was designed to be an affordable, compact solution for small farms, the ED40 turned out to be a costly mistake for both farmers and the Allis-Chalmers brand. Number 6. John Deere 2840. The John Deere 2840 was marketed as the ideal tractor for larger farms in the late 1970s, equipped with a 6-cylinder diesel engine capable of 86 horsepower. It looked like a workhorse in the making, but reality didn't match the hype. The first major issue with the 2840 was its tendency to overheat during prolonged operation in warm weather. This was a huge problem, as many farmers were forced to stop their work midday to let the tractor cool down. This wasted time and significantly impacted productivity, especially when harvest deadlines were looming. But overheating wasn't the only problem. The 2840's transmission system, with its 8 forward gears and 4 reverse gears, was prone to malfunctions, leading to costly repairs. Despite its 3,266 kilogram weight, the tractor struggled to work on soft or wet terrain, and in some cases, it even got stuck and needed assistance to get out of the muck. And let's not forget the hydraulic and braking systems. The 2840's hydraulic system was unreliable, and many users reported problems with unresponsive brakes, which posed a safety risk to operators and anyone nearby. Add to that the tractor's loud engine noise and vibrations, and you've got a tractor that was more trouble than it was worth. By the time the 2840 was pulled from the market, it had done significant damage to John Deere's reputation, leaving many farmers with a sour taste and a bitter reminder of what happens when good intentions meet poor execution. Number 5. Deutz DX160. The Deutz DX160 was designed to be the solution to all of farming's problems, but it ended up being the tractor that caused more issues than it solved. With a 6-cylinder diesel engine boasting 160 horsepower, it seemed powerful enough to take on any task. But as farmers soon discovered, appearances can be deceiving. The air-cooled system that was supposed to be Deutz's signature feature turned out to be its fatal flaw. The system was prone to clogging, especially in dusty environments, leading to engine overheating. This wasn't just an inconvenience. It drastically shortened the tractor's lifespan and reduced its performance. The tractor's transmission system sounded like it could handle anything: 16 forward gears and 8 reverse gears. But it was overly complicated and difficult to operate, leaving many farmers frustrated. Gearbox repairs were expensive, and spare parts were hard to come by. The hydraulic system was equally unreliable, and the tractor was particularly poor at handling high-precision tasks like deep plowing. In terms of comfort, the Deutz DX160 was a nightmare. It was loud, uncomfortable, and had poorly placed controls that made operating it a stressful task. With high maintenance costs and operational issues, this tractor quickly became a burden instead of a solution. Number 4. Case IH1190XT. The Case IH1190XT, produced between 1964 and 1971, was hailed as a breakthrough in the tractor world, until it wasn't. Designed to take on the competitive market, this tractor was supposed to be a game changer, but it ended up as a monumental disaster. The problem? The tractor was equipped with many components from the older D19 model, which were already known to be subpar. This led to significant issues, particularly with the unsynchronized gearbox. Farmers found that shifting gears, especially when the power takeoff was engaged, was incredibly difficult. This reduced efficiency and caused constant headaches. To make matters worse, some farmers, in a bid for more power, pushed the engine to a hefty 120 horsepower, well above what the tractor was designed to handle. This led to drivetrain failures, particularly at the rear. The tractor's parts couldn't keep up, and soon, it was clear that the 1190XT was nowhere near as reliable as its competitors, like the John Deere 4020, which featured a much smoother synchronized gearbox. Despite its shortcomings, the 1190XT could still be reliable if used within its design limits. But the damage was done, and this tractor quickly became a symbol of poor engineering. The Case IH1190XT is now a cautionary tale for any manufacturer thinking they can get by with reusing old components. Number 3. John Deere MT. When John Deere released the MT in the late 1940s, they were looking to corner the market for smaller tractors. Unfortunately, this model was anything but efficient. The MT had a major flaw in its cooling system, causing it to overheat frequently, particularly in hot conditions. This not only reduced the tractor's lifespan, but left farmers stranded in the middle of the field, struggling with overheating engines. Another issue with the MT was its drivetrain and steering system. This tractor was simply not built to handle heavy-duty tasks, which meant that farmers who pushed the machine to its limits often found themselves dealing with broken gears and expensive repairs. Despite efforts to improve the MT, it never lived up to expectations, and it is now regarded as one of the biggest disappointments in John Deere's history. Number 2. John Deere 2010. The John Deere 2010 was introduced in the 1960s with high hopes, but it quickly became one of the most notorious tractors in the industry. It was marketed as a powerful, versatile machine, but it turned out to be a mechanical disaster. The biggest flaw? Its engine. The 2010 came with both gasoline and diesel options, but both engines were underpowered and incredibly fuel-hungry. This made it not only inefficient, but also costly to operate. The 2010 also had major issues with its hydraulic and drivetrain systems, which malfunctioned frequently, causing huge disruptions in farm work. The braking system was also inadequate, leading to safety concerns and accidents in the field. With farmers abandoning the 2010 for other, more reliable models, John Deere quickly learned a painful lesson in product design. The 2010 is now remembered as one of the worst tractors in John Deere's history. Number 1. Ford 6000. And at number 1, we have the Ford 6000, one of the biggest blunders in Ford's history. Launched in 1961, the 6000 was meant to be Ford's first tractor with an automatic transmission. Sounds great, right? Well, the overly complex design of the transmission became its downfall. The Select O-Speed transmission was riddled with problems, ranging from difficulty in shifting gears to complete breakdowns during operation. But it didn't stop there. The electrical and hydraulic systems of the Ford 6000 were notoriously unreliable, and the tractor consumed more fuel than its competitors, further increasing operating costs. Despite several attempts to fix the tractor, it was quickly discontinued and became a painful lesson for Ford in tractor design. The Ford 6000 is widely regarded as one of the worst tractors ever created, and it's hard to find anyone who would recommend it today. And there you have it, the 10 worst tractors ever created in history. These machines were supposed to revolutionize farming, but instead, they became cautionary tales in the world of agricultural machinery. From overheating engines to inefficient transmissions, these tractors earned their infamous reputations for all the wrong reasons. But every failure is a lesson, and these machines helped shape the future of tractor design. So, what do you think? Have you ever had a run-in with one of these tractors? Or do you have your own tractor horror story to share? Drop a comment below, and let's talk about it. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Vintage Harvester for more marvelous stories from the world of farming machinery. Until next time, keep those tractors running smoothly.